We've got Coach Trace Siegler and assistant coach Tyler Wayman in part of National Signing Day discussing new signee Brian Roberts. Coach, how does Brian fit into the system?
Really, really well, man. We've been really excited about Brian for a while now. He's a guy down from Western Texas Junior College who's close enough out here in this region, of the country where we've been able to see him. And when we recruited Mo over at New Mexico Military, we got to see him and recruiting Mo as well. So that was kind of cool, watching him on the floor with another Greyhound that's already going to come. And so, when we were talking more and more about what we needed to kind of fill this roster to finish out our team, especially as we get into the end of July here, Brian's name just kind of kept coming to the top. The more that we've built our team this summer, the more excited we're getting about where we think the ceiling of this team can go and where we think our program is headed. But we needed one more guy. We were looking for another piece that was going to give us more toughness, more athleticism, a shot blocker we felt like we needed, and a guy that was going to be able to kind of give the best forwards in the Lone Star defensive trouble every night. And man, every time we kept talking to people, his name kept coming up. Every time we reached out to different coaching staffs, they said, hey, have you looked over at him? And so, again, where there's smoke, there's fire. And Brian definitely, I felt like the more we got into it, needed to be a part of our program. As we watch more and more of his stuff, kind of look back and look a little more intricately at his stats, you saw that he really gave the best forwards in that league in Region 5 and obviously in the WAC. He gave him a lot of trouble. Those guys did not want to be guarded by him. He's one of the best shot blockers from the help side and from help defense in that league. And the way that we play in our defensive scheme, I just feel like Brian's going to really proliferate. He's going to blow up in our system. And then offensively, he's got a 7'2" wingspan. So he's a guy that he's quick off the floor to go to the rim. So in our dump down situations and our ball screen rolls, we really hope that he can be a highlight guy like that, kind of make those lob dunk plays that you like to see and that kind of gets the crowd involved in the game. But really, really proud that he's going to be a part of our family. I think his character and his motor speak for themselves. Andre Owens, his coach down there in Western Texas, says he will not be outworked in practice, which means for him all season in a great Western Texas team, he was outworking great players. And so anytime you hear that from a coach, I don't know, man, that's kind of our lifeblood here at Eastern, and we want to be the blue-collar team that outworks everybody. So it just kind of kept coming up.
Tyler, how's the WAC compared to the Lone Star?
Yeah, if there was a JUCO league that I would say that kind of embodied what the Lone Star is, it would be the WAC. And the beautiful thing about Brian is that not only did he compete against Division I talent, Division I signees every game, he also practiced against them every day. That team was full of Division I guys, and Brian wasn't one in himself, And so being able to have that experience, he's not going to step into this league with any kind of shock and any kind of awe. He's going to be ready to go right away. And that's kind of the beautiful thing about why we wanted him. And Coach O down there does a great job of getting those guys prepared and treating every day as it is, your last, and every day like it is, it's got to be your best. He does a great job of that. And like Coach said, we got to watch him play numerous times this year. The one thing that kept coming up, like Coach said, was the toughness. Not only from Brian, but from also his team. And if you're around that every day, it's just contagious. And so we're looking forward to that. And like Coach said, he was top 10 in his league, in his region for block shots. And for us, that's a huge thing because the way we play is fast and is above the rim. And Brian does that on both ends of the floor.
Yeah, an interesting thing, obviously playing with some Division I talent on his team. And so, again, going against a guy that's a mid-major guy every day is a pretty good way to cut your teeth and to improve. But, as it got late with Brian, early we fended off some Lone Star opponents who wanted him and who had offered him. And late, we were fending off some Division I schools from the West Coast. And so, I think what happened and what those teams saw is they saw the value of his intangibles. And so, on the stat sheet in the WAC, he wasn't a top of the league scorer. He wasn't a guy that from first glance is, offensively a guy that's going to, blow the league away. But I think what you see in as you look closer and you kind of ask deeper questions to that program is that he had all the ability and was playing on a team with a really talented Division I guy. So we're really excited that he was able to kind of look past the enamor of those those West Coast D1 schools, and he was able to kind of pick us as the team he wanted to give his loyalty to. And I think that's the main thing with Brian. We're getting a crazy loyal guy who's going to come and rep the gray and the green, and he's going to make us better every day. And so we've got some talented forwards coming back. Andre Hughes was in the same scenario in junior college. He was recruited by some Division I's late, and he made a choice to come here. And I still am so grateful to him for that. But I think what he's seeing is that going into the senior season next year in the Lone Star, he's a guy that's going to be looked to be one of the better forwards in the league, and that's what we expect from Brian. So really excited, blessed. His family back in Ohio is really excited. They're hyped about him being with us as well, and we're glad to bring them on board. I know in talking to his mom and his uncle, they were people that support him completely, and so it's going to be exciting for them to watch from afar, and hopefully we can get them down here to see him play some. So Greyhound Nation got a little bit stronger today with Brian Roberts. And I think that as we see him grow here as a man and as a player, it's going to be really cool to see where he ends up. And so, anytime you get that high a character young man to be a part of your program, it's a win for us. And so, really excited. The team's getting bigger, the team is getting more solidified. And now that we see who we're going to coach, our days are a little bit longer because, the summer now I wanted to go fast. Earlier I wanted to slow down, but now I'm excited to coach these guys, and Brian's a big part of that. So.
Thanks, guys. For more information on ENMU Hoops, follow ENMU Hoops on Twitter and Instagram.